Hey, it's Tim Esterdahl, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk. It is a cold day here in western Nebraska. High of like 27 degrees, snow on the ground, frozen roads. I'm inside with a hoodie on, with my space heater going, with a hot cup of coffee. And you know what really sounds crazy right now? Racing in this kind of weather. And yet my friends, Mercedes and Andy, are going to go out and going to race from Alaska to Canada, the Alcan 5000. That's nuts, right? Well, hey, on this channel, we're gonna follow along with your story. They're gonna send me some videos. We'll do a series of videos on the race. Make sure you subscribe, click the bell, and smash the like button if you like this content. And I'll go ahead and play the videos now from Mercedes and Andy.
I'm Andy Lilienthal.
And I'm Mercedes Lilienthal.
And we run Subcompact Culture and Crankshaft Culture. We've run Subcompact Culture, which is all about small cars, for about 11 years. And we've had Crankshaft Culture, which is about adventure vehicles. Our theme is every vehicle is an adventure, including our 91 Mitsubishi Pajero here. We've been running that since about 2016.
Yep.
So we both work full-time in the automotive industry in some way or shape or form. I'm the strategic communications manager at Warren Industries, as well as founding Subcompact Culture and Crankshaft Culture.
You're also a columnist, writer.
Uh-huh.
So do writing on the side, and I'm a full-time freelancer. So I write for several different print and online notable publications, and also do PR and marketing.
So we are very much looking forward to the 2020 Alcan 5000. It's going to be a test of both man, woman, and machine.
Woman.
Woman. And I think that it's going to be a heck of an adventure. So we're looking forward to getting to it.
And we're taking this. You want to tell them about this?
Yeah, this is our 91 Mitsubishi Pajero. It's an XP trim level. We call it the Terra tractor. So it's powered by a 2.5 liter turbocharged intercooled diesel. It's kind of old, but we've done a bunch of work to it. We've rebuilt the injection pump. We've rebuilt the front end completely. New timing belt, new water pump, thermostat, yada, 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 so on and so forth. It rides on a 33-inch Nitto Ridge Grappler tire mounted on 16 by 7.5 1552 analogs. Yep. To that, we have Rancho RS9000 XL shock absorbers. We have an ARB bumper, a Warren M8S winch. We have a custom splice fair lead on there, and Light Force Genesis lights on there.
Yep.
I think that's about it right now. But we may make some more modifications in the future as we continue to build it up for this big, long 5,000-mile journey up through the Arctic.
We've got some exciting things as far as upgrades to her that we're already having in the works. So stay tuned. We'll be talking a lot about that and sharing photos and videos and all of our commentary. And we're excited to get things going.
Yep. So this is our 1991 Mitsubishi Pajero. The Pajero was similar to the Montero. In fact, it was almost identical. However, the United States never got this two-door short wheelbase version. This is actually an XP trim level, so it's a narrow body, doesn't have big wide fender flares on it. So the other thing the US did not get was the 2.5 liter 4D56 turbocharged intercooled engine that is in this. So it's not real fast, makes about 106, 105 horsepower and about 177 foot-pounds of torque, if I remember correctly. So it's not terribly fast, but it definitely goes. That low-end torque is a nice thing to have. So we have modified ours. Ours is slightly lifted thanks to some cranked up torsion bars and long wheelbase Montero springs in the back, which help lift it about an inch and a half. We've added the Rancho RS9000 XL shock absorbers to this. It's a multi-way adjustable shock absorber. We've added 285 75 16 Nitto Ridge Grappler tires and have installed them on the 1552 analogs, which sort of look like a steel wheel, but they are not. So moving up to the front of the vehicle, we've got our ARB bull bar, which is a real strong, sturdy unit. We also have a Warren M8S winch, which is 8,000 pound capacity. We have an Epic hook on the front of there and a custom splice fair lead, offset fair lead to accommodate that ARB bull bar. On top of the bull bar, we have Light Force Genesis lights. It's like having two suns mounted on the front of this thing. It's extremely bright. So we have front end protection all taken care of, which is great. We also recently rebuilt the front end, new bearings, new bushings, new end links, new ball joints, all that stuff in preparation for the Alcan 5000, which is a 5,000-mile winter rally. So we have some other things coming up here, and but we're real happy with the way this has turned out. So here's the interior of our Pajero. It was quite ahead of its time, really. It featured things, again, this is 91. It featured things like an automatic climate control, push-button climate control. We have this triple gauge pod up here with altimeter, inclometer, and a compass, digital compass. The driver's seat is actually a suspension seat, like a trucker seat. It'll like go up and down over bumps and whatnot. It actually has like a little shock absorber on here. We've got a sunroof, which is manual. You crank it open, which is kind of neat. If you can see this down here, it's memory seats. They're manual, but they're memory seats. Power windows, power locks, all that modern stuff in a 91. Again, this was pretty ahead of its time. It even has its own rear climate control. I'm not really sure why. This thing just it's not that big. It doesn't go back that far, but it does, or did, have its own rear climate control. So I'm gonna move around to the back here, and you can see that the door opens up to the side, and back here we actually have, this is kind of neat. This is one of my favorite features, actually. I wish more cars came with this nowadays. So you simply unscrew this, and you've got a toolkit, including a flashlight, which is kind of nice. So back here, we've got the seats fold down. We've got our ARB fridge. It's got some room here for gear. These seats will either, as you can see, they'll tilt forward like we have this one, or they will fold down. You can, of course, also unbolt them. You've got your separate 12-volt system back here. Our ARB fridge works off that. And then we even have a light that plugs in, and you can use it as a flashlight. Talk about ingenuity. That's pretty cool.
Andy and I are self-proclaimed Mitsubishi fanatics. Currently in our driveway, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 Mitsubishis. This one, the Outlander, we are reviewing for the week. This is not ours, but we love it just the same. We love Mitsubishi. So this is our Mitsubishi Mirage, aka The Rage. This is the first of 3 different right-hand drive Japanese domestic market vehicles that we have. All of our 3 rigs that are right-hand drive are turbo diesel. This is the Space Tractor, with a bunch of accessories up top, like our Max Trax ARB awning, Demo shovel, Yokohama Geolando spare tire. And then we have 2 different Pajeros. So we've got the first one, the white one here. This is the Rally Tractor. This is now Andy's. And this one's wrapped with 1552 wheels that are wrapped with BFG Goodrich Cam 3 tires. It's got just a kind of a temporary rack setup right now on it. But this is the first of 2 intercooled turbo diesels. And then the second one, which is another Pajero here, different model year, whereas the white one here is a 92. The dark gray one is a 91 and a different trim level. So there are some differences here. You can notice that this one, well, currently is up on blocks or up on jack stands, missing the front wheels, but currently has a very skinny fender flares, whereas Andy's has got the over flares and side parking mirror and some other differences. So when we brought this one home from Texas, we realized, oh, wait a second, this is actually quite different. So you guys may be wondering what the Alcan 5000 is. Well, it's a crazy Arctic winter rally. It's about 5,000 miles, give or take a bunch. It starts near Seattle, heads all the way due north, all the way up above the Arctic Circle, and it goes to a tiny town called Tuktoyaktuk, which took me a long time to figure out how to say it, or the locals say Tuk. Then you basically go all the way back down, and then you head over to Anchorage, Alaska. So it takes you almost 2 weeks. It's about a week and a half. There's TSD rallies that are part of it every single day.
Time, speed, distance.
Time, speed, distance rallies. So they'll give you a route book. They'll tell you how fast in miles per hour, when you need to turn, what you need to look out for. It's a very specific series of events in order to do the time, speed, distance, or TSD rally. Mm-hmm. After those rallies get done, typically there in the morning, from what I've heard, is we'll have a couple hundred or maybe several hundred miles of transit time within one day. Keep in mind, this rally is 5,000 miles. It's all in the Arctic and also in Canada and Alaska, and it's all winter ice and snow. So if you've ever seen that series, is it Ice Road Truckers?
Ice Road
Something
Truckers.
like that. So this little guy, this little girl, and this little Pajero is going to be on those roads. So it's going to be pretty crazy. But with that being said, you know, we've worked really hard so far to get the Pajero built up, and you know, we've got a couple of concerns. You know, some things that we're still working on. So
yeah, you know, like, first of all, it's a 91, right? I mean, it's kind of old for a 5,000 mile rally, but I mean, okay, it's in good shape. We've rebuilt the front end. It's got tons of new parts on it, new injection pump, all kinds of new belts, that kind of stuff. But it is an old diesel, right? I mean, it's
diesel.
It is a diesel, and it's
Yeah.
an old diesel. You know, it's a manual injection pump, all that stuff. We currently don't have a block heater or a way to keep that engine block warm all the time. So
We're looking into that.
We may do something like that. We may end up running it all night at the hotels and lock it up.
Yeah.
And have a separate key. You know, the other thing too is it's slow, right? I mean, it's an old diesel, and it has about 100 horsepower and about 177 foot-pounds of torque, but that was new at the crank in 91. So, you know, it is not fast. So we're gonna be slow. So
But we're going to be methodical.
yeah, and obviously safe, right? We're gonna have winter
Yeah.
tires on it, and we're gonna make sure we do everything we can. We're both from the Midwest originally.
So we're hardy.
Yeah, and so we've experienced some of these really cold temperatures before, but I mean, I've heard as low as 32 below zero without a wind chill. I've been in 75 below with a wind chill, but you know, you don't go outside really. So it's stuff like that, you know. Also, spare parts. We're gonna bring some spare parts. You know, we'll probably grab an alternator, a change of belts. We're gonna carry fluids with us. But you know, when the weather gets that cold, you just don't know. You know, you've got to dress like you are gonna break down, prepare like you're gonna have to walk out of it. So there's additional preparations and some concerns.
Yeah, and in addition to getting the vehicle ready, I mean, we ourselves have to get ready, both mentally and physically. You know, like Andy was attesting to, it can be 30, 40, 50 below wind chill, or even standing temperatures. I mean, this is the Arctic, folks. This isn't like, you know, Wisconsin Oregon or Minnesota. So, you know, we need to dress in layers. We need to have the proper gear, whether it's recovery gear, food, our sleeping bags, you know, really warm sleeping bags, things like that, in case we need to literally sleep in our vehicle overnight if something happens. You know, thankfully we'll have, you know, like our Garmin GPS, our InReach with us. You know, we'll have means of communication, and we'll have buddy systems so that, you know, there are people that tag team with each other. And there's also going to be a sweeps vehicle too at the end of Alcan.
Basically, it's basically a last vehicle that always makes sure that everybody is in front of it, so nobody gets left behind.
So there are safety measures, and we're really, really looking forward to it. So this is a bit about Alcan, a bit about us, and we're looking forward to share more.